I never thought my life would be divided into before and after. Before, when she was by my side, when I could still hug her, hear her laugh, watch her curl up under the blanket, reading a book. After, when only memories, photographs, and silence remained in our home, reminding me not of peace, but of emptiness. Alicia died in winter, unexpectedly. No one expected that an ordinary virus would turn into something irreversible. Doctors shrugged helplessly, and I sat by her bed, holding her hand, as if I could keep her here with the strength of my love. But life is not a fairy tale. The last time she woke up, she smiled at me the way she had done thousands of times before, as if we knew a secret that no one else would ever understand. "Dan," she whispered. Her voice was weak, but I heard every word. "Look in the top drawer. There's something for you." I wanted to ask what it was, but she had already closed her eyes. An hour later, she was gone. The funeral went by like a blur. Friends, family, words of condolence. Everything merged into an endless stream of pain. I couldn't believe she was gone. That she wouldn't walk into the kitchen with a cup of coffee, put her hand on my shoulder, and say, "How's it going, love?" It wasn't until a week later that I remembered her last words. The top drawer. I approached the dresser I had once chosen myself. It was massive, wooden, with carved patterns. Alicia said it reminded her of old treasure chests. My fingers trembled as I pulled the handle. Inside was a small box. And a letter. I opened the letter first. "Dan, if you're reading this, it means I'm no longer with you. But I want you to know, I haven't gone anywhere. Look at the stars. Listen to the wind. And remember, when things get tough, just say my name. I will hear you." Tears caught in my throat. I almost dropped the letter as my hands began to shake. Then I opened the box. Inside was a key. Small, old, with a worn-down notch. I had never seen it before, and I didn't know what had opened. I turned the key in my fingers, trying to figure out where it came from. It was old, slightly rusty, and on its handle, I could barely make out an inscription that had faded over time. I leaned closer to the light. Were those letters? A, Ali? I read syllable by syllable, but the rest was indecipherable. I glanced around as if expecting Alicia to appear and explain, but the room was silent, and I started searching. First, in our house, maybe the key opened a lock I didn't know about. I checked every door, every cabinet, even the old chest in the attic that we never opened. Nothing. Then I thought about the garage. There were boxes filled with things we hadn't unpacked since moving in. I went out into the cold without even grabbing a jacket. I didn't care. The garage was frozen and gloomy. I switched on the light, and the yellow glow flooded over the piles of boxes. 10 minutes, 20, half an hour. I sorted through old photo albums, children's drawings, even some bills from a decade ago. And then my fingers hit something hard, under a layer of dust. A small metal box, just as old as the key. My heart pounded faster. I picked it up, blew off the dust, and saw the lock. "Yes," I whispered. The key slid in with a faint squeak. I turned it and heard a dull click. The lid opened. Inside was another letter and a photograph. I picked it up. The photo showed a young woman I had never seen before. She stood by a fence holding a baby, and in the background, our house. Or rather, not ours, the way it looked many years ago. I turned the photo over. On the back was a date, June 12th, 1992, and a note. "You must know the truth." I unfolded the letter. "Dan, if you found this box, it means you're on the right path. This woman is your mother, but not the one you know. The truth is hidden where your story begins. Find the house in the photo. The answers await." I sat on the garage floor, not feeling the cold. Alicia had never told me about this. Who was this woman, and what did it mean? Not the one I know. The photograph trembled in my fingers. I stared at the woman's face, searching for something familiar. Maybe the shape of her eyebrows, a smile, some feature that might have passed on to me. But nothing. Just a strange chill in my chest, like someone touched a frozen wire. I went back into the house, sat down at the computer, and started searching. 1992, our street, maybe old archives. But all I found were dry facts. When the house was built, who the first owners were. Nothing about the woman in the photo. Then I decided to take a different approach. Mom. I dialed the number, feeling the keys press against my fingers. She picked up after the second ring. Dan? Is something wrong? Her voice sounded worried. I found something. A photo. A woman with a child near our house. 1992. Do you know who it is? Silence. Too long. Where did you find it? Her voice suddenly turned sharp. In the garage. In a box. Another pause. Then a deep breath. That must be some mistake. An old photo, maybe previous owners. She was lying. I could hear it in the way she stretched out her words. Mom. I gripped the phone tighter. There's a note on the back saying she's my mother. But not you. What does that mean? A sudden knock at the door interrupted our conversation. Who is it? I muttered, distracted. Dan? The voice behind the door made me freeze. It was unfamiliar, but something about it. I walked to the door, still holding the phone. I opened it. A woman stood on the doorstep, the same woman from the photo. Older, with wrinkles, but the same eyes. Dan, she said, and my world flipped upside down. I am your mother. The phone slipped from my hand. The woman stood on the doorstep, her hands trembling. She was dressed simply, a light blouse, worn jeans, hair pulled back into a messy bun. But the eyes were exactly like mine. I couldn't get a word out. I'm so sorry you had to find out like this. The voice cracked. Behind me, my mom's voice echoed from the phone lying on the floor. Dan? Who's there? What's going on? I bent down, picked up the phone, but didn't take my eyes off the woman. Mom, don't let her in. Mom almost choked on her words. Hang up right now and call the police. The woman's face grew even paler. I'm not here to hurt you, Dan. I just wanted to explain. You deserve to know the truth. What truth? My own voice rose to a scream. Who are you? She took a step back, as if I had struck her. My name is Laura. She swallowed hard. I gave birth to you, but I couldn't take care of you. Your current mom. She's my sister. The sound of shattering glass. It was my hand releasing the phone, which hit the floor and split in half. Sister? I looked at the woman, trying to find some resemblance to my mom. But nothing. No feature, no gesture, nothing familiar. Why? I could barely breathe. Why now? Why after all these years? Laura started to cry. Because I'm dying, Dan. Cancer. I have a few months left. And after that, no one would have ever told you. Suddenly, a piercing car horn blared from behind me. I turned instantly. A taxi screeched to a halt in front of the house. The door swung open, and my mom jumped out. Get away from my son, she shouted, rushing toward us, glaring at Laura with contempt. Sisters, 2 mothers, and a secret they had kept from me my whole life. My mom, the one who raised me, grabbed Laura's arm so tightly that she bent over in pain. You promised never to show up. Mom's voice was rough, teetering on the edge of hysteria. I stepped between them, pushing them apart. Stop! My shout made both of them freeze. Someone explain what's going on here. Laura was the first to regain composure. She cautiously picked up her fallen bag and pulled out a folder. Here. It's all here. Mom took a step forward, as if to snatch the folder, but I was quicker. The pages were yellowed with age, but the text was clear. Adoption agreement, my name, date of birth, and my birth name, Daniel Lawrence Gray. I looked up at the woman I had called Mom my whole life. You're not my biological mother? Her face twisted into a helpless grimace. I am your mother. She pounded her chest with her fist. I fed you, held you when you took your first steps, sat up all night when you had a fever. Laura quietly added, I was 16 when I gave birth. My sister, She couldn't have children. Our parents decided. Lies. Mum suddenly changed tactics. She grabbed my hands. She abandoned you, left you at an orphanage. I saved you. Laura lowered her head in defeat. They forced me. Dad said, either give the baby to your sister, or you're out on the street. I took a step back, feeling the ground sway beneath me. Alicia knew. She knew and left me that key, so I would find the truth. I looked at both women, the one who gave me life, and the one who gave me love. And suddenly, I understood. It wasn't about choosing between them. It was about forgiveness. For all of us. I hugged my mother, the one who had been my mom all these years. Then I turned to Laura and took her hand. Come inside. My voice was quiet but firm. Tell me everything. From the beginning. Alicia was right. She never left. She led me to the truth.